I'm getting ghosted and like it's fine. We only went on 4 dates. But
I just got ghosted after what I thought was one of the best first dates I've ever been on.
oh, people don't tell you about getting ghosted. I got ghosted pretty brutally.
Fellas, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I open up about getting ghosted after what felt like the perfect connection, and how it brought back every insecurity you thought you left behind. If you've ever questioned your worth because someone disappeared without a word, this one's for you. Let's talk about dating anxiety, self-worth, and why it feels so personal when someone ghosts us out of nowhere. Let's dive right in. Right after you subscribe, of course.
I think I'm getting ghosted and like it's fine. We only went on 4 dates, but like it really hurts when you're not the one doing the ghosting. So unfortunately it is going to be everything I think about for the next 2 weeks straight. If you're watching this, I miss you. Come back to me, please. He doesn't have TikTok, but like if you stalk my TikTok, maybe you'll see it. I still want you.
This is exactly why a lot of men pull back too. The pressure is insane. One slow reply and you're labeled a ghoster. The anxiety, the overthinking, the spirals, it's not just women going through that. Men deal with the same emotional burnout but are expected to act like nothing affects them. Truth is, dating has become a mental game instead of a connection. Maybe we all need to heal before dating, not just chase relationships to fix the loneliness.
Hello everybody, remember the TikTok I made a couple weeks ago about a guy ghosting me and I wasn't sure if I should text him or not? I have an update. I haven't heard from him, but there is new information. For anybody who hasn't seen that video, I was seeing this guy for a few weeks, 3 to 4 weeks I would say. We went on a few dates, we were having a great time. He brought up the fact that he really liked me. I thought it was a little early, but I was like, yeah, like you too, want to keep seeing you. And then he left to go on vacation with his buddy. It was like a 4-day boys trip to Mexico, and then he got back. We tried to set up a date, he got the dates wrong, then I left for vacation without seeing him, and then he ghosted me and I never heard from him again. So I haven't really thought about it since I sent that text of wish you would have communicated, best of luck in the future. He read it, I deleted it, moving on. Haven't thought about it, but today I had some time and I'm back on Hinge, like scrolled through my matches and I noticed his match was still there. We were still connected. So I'm like, I'll just take a look at his profile just to see like what's new in his life. He hasn't updated any of his photos, but he did update a prompt, and that is why we're here today. I did update one of his prompts, and it was one thing I'll never do again. And his response was, go to Mexico with a Hinge match that I've only known for a month. Which means this guy did not go to Mexico with his buddy that he told me about weeks and weeks ago. He went to Mexico with a Hinge match. And not only that, he had this trip planned to Mexico before our first date. He told me about the trip to Mexico on our first date. He told me it's a boys' weekend. He's going with his friend. His friend has been to Mexico before. He planned the whole thing. Lie. Just a complete lie. So he went to Mexico with a Hinge match. Obviously, it didn't really go well. If he said it's one thing he'll never do again, which I feel like is just karma on that one. But I just got played the whole time. The whole time that we were seeing each other. I didn't even think to ask if he was seeing anybody else because he just didn't seem like that kind of guy. He was always available, always free to hang out. And so I didn't even think that he was seeing anybody else. I wasn't seeing anybody else. But the entire time he was obviously seeing this other person that he had this trip to Mexico with. So I just got played the whole time. So that's great. Just another great example. Men are trash. Don't trust them. They're all liars. So thank you for being here. Just needed to get that off my chest. I will see you in the next one. Bye.
Alright, let's be real. What this guy did was shady. Lying about a trip is weak. But labeling all men as trash because one guy played you? That's where we lose the plot. Men get lied to, used, and ghosted too. You just don't hear them turning it into a viral rant. Dating is messy for everyone. If we want honesty, we gotta stop generalizing and start healing. Blame him, not us.
I just got ghosted after what I thought was one of the best first dates I've ever been on, so let's do a story time. I honestly feel so embarrassed, but whatever. Me and this guy have been talking for a month before we met, which is important to remember. Met on Saturday, and immediately I felt super comfortable around him, no awkward silences, and the conversation just flowed really well. Everything just felt very natural, and at the end of the date, he even started talking about his availability for the next week because he wanted to see me again. When I got home from the date, he texted me and said, "Thanks for coming out, I loved hanging out with you," and again, talked about a second date. Texted like normal a little bit the next day, but then he stopped responding around like 5 p.m. on Sunday, but I didn't think anything of it. Before you know it, it's Monday night. It's been 24 hours and I haven't heard anything, and that's when I knew. I can't even tell you how confused I was because we've been talking every day for a month, and then we met and had such a good first date. He said all of these words of affirmation and then just silence. Wheels in your head just start to turn and you think there's like a million things wrong with you. I think ghosting is the most disrespectful form of rejection, but I believe the universe is always looking out for us. Any man that is that emotionally immature that they can't have a conversation with me is not the man for me. This whole time I've been getting ready for another first date. This guy is, so stay tuned for the update.
Look, I get that ghosting sucks, it's confusing and disrespectful. But here's the thing, words during a date don't always reflect long-term intent. Some guys are just trying to be polite or ride the vibe in the moment, but afterward they realize they're not feeling it, and instead of being direct, they just vanish. Is it right? No. But it's not always deep. It's not always about you. Sometimes, it's just a guy avoiding conflict like most men are conditioned to do. Ghosting says more about his lack of maturity than your worth. Simple as that.
So people don't tell you about getting ghosted. I got ghosted pretty brutally like a year ago. And not just like getting ghosted after one date or getting ghosted after texting for a few days. Like I was ghosted after I really thought I had something with this man. People do not tell you that you literally will have PTSD from this. It's not even that I think about this guy anymore in any way. This was a year ago, but I hate to admit it. What happened definitely affected me in terms of trust and like expectations of people. I think I used to expect that people were always gonna treat me right and always do the right thing, and I thought people always had good intentions, and I was always very open to the idea of like letting love into my life. Now I question everything. Like I'm kind of talking to somebody new, and I'm not kidding, the paranoia I feel just when I send a message is actually sad, and it's kind of sad to be admitting this, but it's not in particular like the guy I'm talking to right now. Like I don't know if he's like my end all be all, but it's just the idea that I kind of like him and I feel a little vulnerable, and now he has the power to ghost me that I think scares me. In all honesty, I'll send a message, and if I don't hear from him for 2 hours, I'm like, okay, he's ghosting me, like classic, I knew this was gonna happen, and then I end up hearing from him and he's like, let's go do something. I hate to admit that something like that affected me so much, but I also feel like it's pretty normal considering it was pretty emotionally damaging, because I used to be just a lot more trusting, I would say. Now I'm like, oh, you're telling me I look nice? Like like what's the hidden agenda there? It's really exhausting. So if you've ever been ghosted, let me know if you went through this too. It sucks. Like it actually sucks, and I feel like a psycho, and I know I'm not a psycho.
Ghosting messes with people, no doubt, but let's be real, both men and women do it. The difference is, when a man gets ghosted after giving his all, he's told to man up and move on. Nobody calls it PTSD when he becomes guarded or stops trusting women. Everyone's walking around hurt, scared to be vulnerable, and that's because we've made ghosting the norm. This woman's experience is valid, but it's a two-way street. If we all want real love, accountability has to go both ways.
Guys, I got ghosted. And for someone who wasn't picked during school, my mind just goes back to, oh my god, I'm not pretty enough, or oh my god, like there must be someone else prettier. Even though I'm completely disregarding my career, my achievements, my mindset, my values, everything about me completely goes out the window because I just think, oh, I'm just not pretty enough. Like there is somebody out there who's pretty, who's more like, you know, this, that he's chosen over her. And I just think it's so sad. I feel like the world we're living in is just not a place for us people who were never picked at school and just want to fall in love and find someone. So shout out to all of my girlies, like we need a support group. We need weekly therapy sessions because it's really hard out here in the streets. It's cold, weather outside is frightful. Literally, oh my god.
This is tough to hear, but it shows how deep ghosting cuts, and not just the ego, but the old wounds too. But here's the truth, men feel this exact same thing. A lot of guys weren't picked in school either, and today, they feel invisible unless they're tall, rich, or model-level attractive. It's not just women who wonder, am I good enough? We all carry those scars. Dating culture has turned into a silent competition, and it's hurting everyone. We need more empathy, not more games.